Hello, welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. It's me, A. Prusian. We are here February 23rd, 9:34 a.m., the District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2, trial day. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. Why, though? Why? I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. There's one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney, right? Like, she has the prosecutor mindset. And Phoenix is like, no, that's not the defense attorney mindset. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. Yeah, don't take advice from a prosecutor. You're a defense attorney. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. That's true. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. You can do it, Phoenix. I believe in us. Besides, Emma will be there. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. She's not nobody. Okay, 10 a.m., courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Here we go. These two again. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. Huh? I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. I kind of like that from Edgeworth, you know. He's framing it as the expectation is Phoenix would let personal stuff get in the way. But I think he's also reminding himself he wouldn't want to admit that, but, you know. Alright. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Whoa, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Ms. Angel Starr, to the stand. The Cough-Up Queen? I still think that's a really weird nickname. I didn't comment on it at the time because I was just so overwhelmed with her whole persona. Is this just a weird translation thing? Because, like, cough up is not... I don't get it. I'm like, I know she sells food, so I'm taking it in the context of food. It's like, are they saying the food she sells is bad, so you don't want to eat it and you will cough it back up? I think is what they're going for. Anyways. Haven't I seen you somewhere? Oh, right. You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. Judge is really wolfing it down. You can't just take food from the witness. Oh, and for you, I have a Fiesta bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? Is that just rice with some pepper on it or something, or some kind of seeds? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Edgeworth is having none of these shenanigans. Me, the name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry it up. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago. Oh, Ms. Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. Now, isn't that interesting? She was a first-rate homicide detective. Why are you now selling lunches? What? Miss Starr was a detective? Until 2 years ago. That's gonna be pertinent. Aha! I know who you are. Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. Oh, do they mean like cough up as in like people confessing? You know, cough up your crime kind of thing? Maybe that's what they mean. Very well. You may continue with the description, Ms. Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. Who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Okay, now we have the parking lot floor plans. The parking lot with Edgeworth's car. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. Seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? Can't agree on principle, Your Honor. Seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Ms. Starr. Wait, are they talking about me? Yes, they are, Phoenix. Oh boy, here we go. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work? Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Bring a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching! As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. Poor Phoenix. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. This is rather dire. Something's going on here, though, obviously. Alright, let's press her on things. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. Oh, that's right. She has beef with the prosecutors. I forgot about that. So why is she so excited to be tearing down Phoenix here? Maybe because the defendant is a prosecutor. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Interesting. What do you have to say to that, Miles? Nothing? Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. Those are different things. I mean, the end result is you don't have the job, but they are actually functionally different. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend. The security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? I like her. The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. He considered it. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign, right? Makes sense. So why did the security guard see the incident? Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say... oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. Young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard, yellow, and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. Emma. In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. That's awfully convenient. Saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. By garage car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth's. Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it? Indeed, it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you're sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. She's telling the truth. We're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Yeah. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me? I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. She means it. It's a serious face. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I don't think that's gonna cut it. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunchlady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. Wow, that's wild. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. And she has blood on her jacket, and she's standing at the trunk of the car. Well, I'm convinced she did it. The moment of the crime is photographed by Angel Starr. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Oops, I should go back to this one. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So, the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You didn't see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. I've pressed her on everything, though. Right? So his little hint was we should press her on everything. But I thought I've already done that. Because I don't think I can press later, like, following up, unless it's like gives me the specific option to press further. Okay, well I'm gonna press on this one again because it's kind of the key point. Okay, yeah, see I can't press anymore. Okay. Oh, I know what I need to do. Once I get to the end of this dialogue. Keep our heads cool, press the witness a bit, shall we? Okay. No, what I need to do now is save. That's what I need to do. Before I do more. I've pressed her on everything. Okay, I'm gonna real quick press everything again. And if there's something new, like I accidentally missed, I'll skip to that. Like, I wish I could press her more on this, but I can't. Okay, I haven't finished going through and repressing everything because I feel like I did press everything. What I'm gonna do is, through the wire fence. Why isn't the wire fence in the photograph, then? Let me look at what I have here. Got the knife. No prints. Work of art. One knife wound. 67S. Parking lot. Oh, I meant to check it. I hit the wrong one. Ah. Oh, I guess there is. Let's check this. So there is the wire fence in the photograph. So that makes sense. That looks just like what we saw. There's nothing inconsistent there. Huh. I'm gonna check this. Yeah. So she was in B block. That makes sense. Actually, it also makes sense why the security guy wouldn't have seen anything if that wall was in the way, the weird water tank. Huh. Okay. I am stuck, so I think this is a good time for me to check my hint website. See what I can find. Okay. I see. So the hint was like to keep pressing her on things. I've already done that. So I need to, the thing that I was supposed to realize is that this one here, the issue is that even though there is blood in the photograph, which I did notice, it's only on Lana's coat and nowhere else, which is a good point. I was just like, wow, yep, there's a lot of blood, it's on her coat. I didn't consider that that would be weird that it wasn't anywhere else either. But it is a little bit in retrospect, so let me present this to her. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. Sure that is a fine lunch. But, isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Oh, that's true, she isn't. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. Had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever-feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
Objection!
And how can you tell that? Blood spatter? Right, there's blood on her, coat. See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Ah, you got a better idea? I guess we will object. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Does it? Ah, namely that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. Uh-huh. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Objection!
Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Damn, he's got us there. Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Okay. Well, I'll press her on it. I guess I have to. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Maybe. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Ah! Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Ms. Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking it was all planned. She could prove this claim. The trial's already over. Gotta think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Yeah. Her testimony is flawless. Sounds fatal. What do we do? Is my sister guilty? Keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit. Okay. Is that the same advice then? Okay, I'm gonna save again. So this is, like, I've already pressed her on all of this. Is there something I can... I've already pressed her on this as well, so is there something I can present to her? No prints is consistent with the gloves, unfortunately. Died within an hour and a half of 4 p.m. I feel like... Okay. It's possible he was already dead? I don't know. Let's call... Is there anything that could show it's not premeditated? The gloves are pretty damning there, Lana. I'm sure she'd agree. For some reason, what is she covering up for? Because on the assumption she is innocent, she's instead covering something up. The question is what and why. I'm gonna see if presenting this helps. I don't think it will. Yeah, okay. That doesn't help. Yeah, penalize me. That's fine. It's the wrong track. There's gotta be something I can show her, though.
Objection!
The knife? Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? Yes. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? There it is. That's the connection. I knew if I tried a few things that seemed halfway relevant, we'd get there. That's what it was. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. That is true. Ugh. Whoa! Order. Did Lana know that there would be a knife in Edgeworth's trunk? Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. That is not true. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I think he can prove that Lana knew about his knife. That's my guess. I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. Prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. Oh, interesting. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Oh, good point. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. Suppose you think you're clever now. You know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. Why does she care so much about that? If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Okay. Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. I love how Edgeworth's like, just tell us what you saw, not what you thought. And she's like, oh, fuck you, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I thought. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Ooh, Angel, now you fucked up. That's a fuck up. Even I recognize that. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Okay. Yeah, we'll press you on things, but stabbing again and again is a big one. All right, let's press you on this. You've said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. Believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, all right? It's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Oh no, Edgeworth. No. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Ms. Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There's no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on. Could have tried public phone first, at least. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. That's interesting, though, that everybody's been saying she called him there. She did not literally call him. Does anybody have evidence that she actually did that? Or is it just she said she did? I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. It's because you didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See, we agree there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. Oh no. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. They don't teach that in law school, I guess. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Alright, we'll press her on this, and then I've got an autopsy to report. A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Yeah, that was pretty weak sauce there, Phoenix. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's eyes smell like citrus fruit. Oh, kid. Say again and again. How many times did she stab him, exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. Difference doesn't make if the deed is done. How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people. Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we first met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, would it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. That is actually something you could scientifically test. I will give Emma that. Okay, let's come here and present the autopsy report. One knife wound. You say she stabbed him again and again? You couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. Huh? What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. Hey! I brought it up first. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. Oh, I love her hero worship. It's amazing. What about my objection? No one noticed, right? Well, witness, you got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Her red muffler? Yeah, thank you, Phoenix. Exactly. Yes, like a scarf, the chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. She does have a red scarf. Yeah, Miss Sky was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. Do they, though? A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she... Yeah. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Wait a second. Is she wearing it in this picture? She's not. Oh, here we go. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. Edgeworth keeps stealing our thunder. I think he's gotten really like she's gotten under his skin with all the anti-prosecutor stuff. I think my favorite part of this game, though, to be honest, is the dynamic when Edgeworth is annoyed at his own suspect. For some reason, I just love it. It's so great because they're supposed to be kind of on the same side, but he gets annoyed and then this happens. It's great. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Oh, Edgeworth. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red? Really? Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. Okay, so I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. I don't know, I hope so. Whew. Okay, apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Oh yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. You're quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. It's a surprising metaphor because she's so far been sticking with food metaphors, right? I wonder if Edgeworth needling her about the lunch lady thing has made her decide to change tack on metaphors. No thanks. Note to self. Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Oh, dear. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Okay. Cross-examination. Let's do this again. Okay, let's press this. So where's this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. How do you even pull your car into that space? There was a wall there about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly? Were you close to the suspect? Yeah, how'd you get through the fence? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details. Yeah, I'm gonna press her, because I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe, because isn't there the fence in the way? The Lunchland car was over here. She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Ms. Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing! The cough-up queen, lunch lady, athlete indeed. I would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. Yeah, you can't just vault over that. I mean, how did Miss Sky not get away? Right. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. Why would she mention the muffler? She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Was it to Emma on the phone? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean. I'm gonna ask further. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. So she used her cell phone? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? Should, of course, add this to your testimony. Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. The cell phone update, so the word muffler was overheard during a call. Does Emma remember this? Okay, well, I hate to leave in the middle of a testimony, but I am out of time. And I don't know how much longer this will go, so I'm going to have to call it here, and then I will keep cross-examining Angel Starr the next time. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye!